All right, today we're cracking open the playbook that the top local businesses are using to absolutely dominate their search results and, get their phones to actually ring. So let's just get right into it. So let's kick things off with a question that I'm guessing probably keeps you up at night. You know you offer a better service, you've got a better team, but somehow your competitors' phones are just ringing off the hook, while yours is, well, quiet. So the big question is, why? The answer almost every single time is right here in Google's local pack. You know what I'm talking about. That little map with the top 3 businesses you see for pretty much any local search. This thing is the modern-day Yellow Pages, the Town Square, and Main Street all rolled into one. And today, we're going to give you the exact keys to not just compete for a spot, but to completely own it. We've broken this down into 5 core parts. First, we'll master your most important asset, your Google profile. Then, we'll link that up to your website to build authority, build trust across the web, jump into some really advanced plays, and finally, I'll show you how to use AI to put this whole thing on overdrive. Okay, first up, let's talk about the absolute foundation of local search, your Google business profile. I mean, forget everything else for a minute. If you get this one piece right, you're already ahead of like 80% of your competition. It's your digital storefront. It's everything. So what's really staggering when you look at the data is just how dominant the local pack is. A full 70% of all local search interactions, I'm talking calls, requests for directions, clicks, it all happens right there. Think about that for a second. Most of your potential customers are making their decision before they even get a chance to see your website. The takeaway is simple. Winning in local means winning on that map. Getting this foundation right is totally non-negotiable. First, you've got to verify your profile. Second, and I mean this literally, complete every single field Google gives you. Third, choose hyper-specific categories. Don't just list dentist, be an orthodontist or a cosmetic dentist. This tells Google exactly who to show your profile to. And finally, upload real geotagged photos, your work, your team, your location. Now, setup is one thing, but dominance, that's a daily habit. The top performers are posting to their profile every single day. They hijack their own Q&A section, they post common questions and then answer them with keyword-rich details. They list their services under the Products tab, which gets amazing visibility, and they treat that messaging feature like a hotline, because replying in 5 minutes just crushes a 24-hour response time. These aren't just tasks you see. They're daily signals to Google that you're active, you're engaged, and you're the best answer for whoever's searching. All right, so your Google profile is now a fortress. The next step is to connect it to its power source, your website. You got to think of your website as the library of proof that validates everything you claim on your Google profile. It's where you build that deep authority. So here is your checklist. For every single service you listed on your Google profile, you need a dedicated page on your website. We call this mirroring, and it's absolutely critical. If you serve a few different areas, build unique pages for each one and mention local landmarks to prove you're actually there. Weave your city and neighborhood names right into your content. And finally, and this is the most common mistake I see, make sure your name, address, and phone number, your NAP, is 100% identical everywhere, down to the last comma. Now for a bit of a secret weapon, Schema. And don't worry, think of it less like code and more like a set of structured labels that you add to your website. These labels speak directly to Google in its own language, and they explicitly confirm your services, your hours, your location. The beautiful thing about this? Most of your competitors have never even heard of it, so it gives you an immediate technical edge. All right, so we've optimized your profile and we've optimized your website. Now we need to build trust signals from outside your own digital properties. This is all about proving to Google that you're not just relevant, but you're also prominent and well-regarded in your actual community. This is your trust engine. Let's talk about a key number here, 10. This really is a tipping point. Studies have shown that once a business gets to 10 high-quality Google reviews, they often see a really significant spike in calls and leads. It's kind of the baseline for social proof. So your first goal is just to get to 10. You know, how you respond to reviews is just as important as getting them in the first place. A generic thanks is a totally wasted opportunity. I mean, look at the difference here. An SEO-optimized response reinforces what service you offer and where you are, turning a simple thank you into another positive signal for Google. You've got to respond to every single review. So how do you get more reviews systematically? Well, stop bribing customers. That's against the rules anyway. Instead, incentivize your employees. Run a little contest for the staff member who gets the most mentions. Automate the ask with a simple text message after a service is complete. And just make it easy for people. A QR code at your checkout counter can work wonders. Beyond reviews, you need links from other local websites. These are basically powerful votes of confidence. And the easiest way to get them? Sponsor a local youth sports team or a charity 5K. Their website will almost always link back to you as a sponsor, and boom, you get a high-quality, locally relevant backlink. Okay, we've covered the fundamentals that will put you in the top tier of your market. Now, let's talk about the advanced plays that will help you completely dominate it. This is really where we separate the serious players from the amateurs. Let me ask you this. How would you like to outrank your competitors at the exact moment when they are closed and unavailable? Well, there's a way to do it, and it has everything to do with leveraging time itself. So this concept is called temporal SEO. See, Google's algorithm has one primary goal: to solve the searcher's problem right now. And that's why it heavily favors businesses that are listed as open now. So when your competitors are closed, their visibility just plummets. Here's how you can actually weaponize this. If you have any kind of after-hours phone support, just go change your Google profile hours to 24/7. Instantly just start popping up for all those late-night emergency searches. Another advanced tactic is something we call negative space SEO. You find what your competitors aren't talking about. Are they all saying fast service, but nobody mentions lifetime warranty? Well, that's your opening. You claim that space. And finally, a cool psychological trick. Using words like best in all caps in your page titles, it can dramatically increase how many people actually click on your listing. We've covered a ton of strategy, but the final piece of this whole puzzle is execution at scale. And this used to require a huge team or just endless hours. Not anymore. Now we have AI. Now let's be super clear about AI's role here. It isn't here to replace your brain. It's not a strategist. Think of it like an incredibly powerful intern that can execute your well-defined strategy, and it can remove up to 90% of all that tedious manual work, like writing the first drafts of your content. Here's a perfect example of how this works in the real world. Just look at this prompt. You're not just asking for some generic article, you're giving AI a role, act as a local expert, and you're giving it specific local context. The output you get back is a high-quality, locally relevant draft that you can then edit and perfect in a few minutes, not hours. You can use this to build out all of those service and location pages we talked about earlier. Okay, so let's just recap the entire playbook real quick. 1. Live on your Google business profile. Daily activity is king. 2. Your website has to mirror your profile. 3. Turn review collection into a system. 4. Use those advanced tactics like temporal SEO to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And 5. Use AI to do all the heavy lifting. You now have the complete playbook that the top local agencies are using. The entire strategy is right there. The only question left is, what's the very first move you're going to make?